All right, today we are going to take a look at a website, kind of, I don't know, break down some things that I'm thinking about in terms of design and conversion rate optimization. And just as a PSA, none of these are clients that I or Web4 or anyone I know works for or does work for. These are just what random websites I'm pulling up and taking a look and see what they're doing. So for this one, I did look around for one that I wanted to check out, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at Rick's Automotive in Springfield, Missouri. So, coming to this site, you have to consider the user's feeling. How is the user feeling? What are they struggling with personally that's brought them to this site, right? Because obviously, if you have to go to an automotive shop, something's going on with your car, and no one likes that. Why does no one like that? Well, for one, it removes your sense of freedom because you lose your vehicle to repair, and cost. Automotive industry is sort of notorious for having wide-ranging repair fees for fixing vehicles, and it depends on your vehicle type, age, part availability, just a range of things. So taking a look at this website, if we were being tasked to address the experience, improve conversion rate optimization, we'd be looking for a few things. And I would say the first thing that comes to mind is how hard it is to kind of see some of the elements. The Rick's Automotive, I actually think could be much more powerful, the logo here, if it was a just sort of flat color and more modern design. Although I think it's really clever what they have because this feels like like chrome, almost balloon like in a lot of ways, and that's really difficult to pull off visually there. So whoever designed this did a great job putting that feeling into this. It is really huge and makes it hard to kind of consume the rest of the page because my eyes only want to see Rick's because the color red draws your eyes, and I keep getting pulled to that space. Now, it looks like their primary calls to action are financing and schedule your appointment. So I think financing available is good. I don't know that it needs to be the big blue button because typically you want to try and keep your calls to action down to one. Some singular action you want users to take. Usually that's in the form of the button. I'm separating phone number from that because phone numbers are just standard these days across almost every website you go to. So looking at this, let's just scroll down and see what we got. We got a slider here. We got some content. Got a video of all these fine folks here. And we got a footer and a bunch of logos here. It's not real clear what they are, but it looks like they're potentially certifications and whatnot, and different classifications, so that's fine. So if we talk about the needs of the user, I would say that having a real strong hero area and real strong messaging would be super critical to getting people to convert. Um, the schedule button here is the number one thing. They got the navigation, that's fine. And I think the topmost portion of the page is really sort of confusing and somewhat hard to look at. So let's do some playing here. And this is just for us. For you, we're just exploring. Plus, you get a little behind the scenes of how I address things. So we're just going to take a screenshot of this and try and get 1920. It's not quite there. That's fine. So we're actually not going to look at this anymore. Let me move this off my screen. I'm going to paste this in here. And let me just scale this up. Now, it's not going to be a one-to-one, but it's pretty good. All right, let's take a look, make sure I got my dimensions here, 1080. So this is what we have to work with. This is our first iteration of Rick's Automotive. Now, if we just take a duplicate of this, and let's maintain some of the character here. Let's make a box, V on your keyboard to get to the arrow tool. Let's go ahead and uncheck that. Let's move this up here. And all I want to do real quick is just to kind of recreate a little bit of the feeling they have here. I change this to linear. Actually, that's fine like that. Let's get some text here. Let's say Rick's. Okay, and nice big bubbly fun. Might be a little tricky to find, but we'll do our best. So let's scale that down a little bit. Oops, escape V, move this. Okay, let's come over here. Now it is a little hard for me, like I think anybody, to be designing and talk at the same time. But I'm gonna do my best. And nothing here is really meant to be one-to-one. Again, I just want to show a few things that I'm thinking about. Let's go with this bubbly one I saw a minute ago. It's not quite right, you know, but it's not too bad. So let's grab that sort of deep red color. Let's go bright red. Let's add that to our palette. Let's take this again. Hit I on a keyboard, and let's go for that. Now we'll go for that deep red. Let's add that color. Let's go ahead and add this gradient. Just want to get a few assets going here. And then let's make this white. So let's go like that. And we'll change that. Okay. And we're just going to take this. We're going to put Automotive. And we'll shrink that down. All I want to do here is kind of line these up. That's good enough. Now, typically you want to have some sort of reoccurring or regularly set margins here on your screen so that you are, you're keeping everything nicely aligned. So I'm going to set this at 140. There's no scientific method to that. I'm just randomly picking a number there. So let me just bump those letters right up against that. Perfect. Okay, so you see they got all this stuff going on here. They got Rick's Automotive. They got this blue. Let's go ahead and grab the blue, and let's add that to our palette there. Now, because of accessibility reasons, you actually legally can't have Automotive look like this, nor really can you have Rick's look like this. So that's one of the reasons why I've got this in this white and red. And the black makes it really hard to read. Now, we might keep the character of this a little bit, but we could also just, lighten this up, change this to a blue, and you've got something a little more fun there. But let's just stick with that because, again, we're not trying to do too much here. And so we've got schedule appointment and financing. So, something you might do here, let's stay with the bubbles since they have that sort of feel going on here. Let's make a button. And let's grab this schedule appointment. We'll go ahead and change that case to that. I think we'll go ahead and break this down on a new line. That's okay. Not a big fan of this style because it just kind of can make things feel older, which is okay. But we want to try and do something here that makes things feel a little bit fresh. So let's take that. Now, whoops, I want to keep everything the same size here. I don't want to modify things too much. They have financing, so financing options. That kind of says what you want it to say. Now you can argue otherwise, but that's kind of a good start. Now I don't quite like that because of, again, it takes away from the schedule appointment. So let's take away that fill. Let's go like that. And because everything feels kind of thicker on this site, let's just do that. Now again, not final here, but let's go ahead and grab the phone number. And I'm just going to grab this from the site here, save myself. Now some people are putting social media in the header. Now, it was more common to do that, I would say 5 years ago, but social media now is just sort of just a part of who we are as a culture, and so having that in there isn't really a requirement, on like the top half of your page. So I'm just going to make some adjustments here. And my main goal is to just kind of tighten things up. say all the same things, but just tighten it up. So we got 23, 23, looks good. Let's get this. Now, sometimes phone numbers just look smaller in general, but because they're digits, and so there's this sort of optical illusion that happens with that. Let's say call us. Okay. Now, one thing I don't like is super tall nav sections. Like, you really want this to be high and tight. You just want things to be a little bit more condensed. So let's grab these guys. Let's move that down. And we're gonna move this comp up because really I want to get just more of the content in general above the fold. So let me highlight all these things. Deselect, deselect. Move up here. Not quite perfect. Let's try and do this. Okay. Did that get what we want? Let's get rid of that. Let's try again. Okay. That looks a little funky. It kind of feels like that might not be spot on yet. It might be because of this. Yeah. Okay. Let's. This phone number doesn't look quite correct, but we'll just move it down manually so we feel better about ourselves. Okay. So now you got this section. Now, again, this is not the ideal thing, and I just want to keep saying that because, there might be some harsh judgments about, hey, that don't look very good, but that's not what we're doing here. We're just trying to clean things up. So here is where you really want to highlight your messaging. So let's go ahead and fill this. This is what I do in the design process. I just start filling spaces with colors. And then let's go ahead and grab this guy. Let's put it down here. Let's go blue, blue, and let's say, let's take their headline actually that they got on their homepage here. And I'm just trying to simulate what it might look like. Holy smokes! Okay, as my grandpa would say, let's take that. Let's move it along the right edge, and let's get the screenshot, which you can't see because I'm doing stuff on my other screen here. Let's grab screenshot the video. So what I want to do is I want to better utilize the space. So have a little bit of content on the left, and then you have video on the right here. Let's open up, give some breathing room to that element, and then you want your primary headline up here. Let's go ahead and move this to back. Oops, send back. Okay. And let's say we want to put, we provide top quality, only the best automotive repair services in Springfield. I think that's where they're located, right? I think so. Let's go ahead and take this. Let's shrink it down. Now I'm looking at a slightly skewed view here. Let me change this. There we go. That's perfect. Looks way better. Can we get rid of some bolding, maybe? Looks like I don't have a whole lot of styling options here because I don't have the full font installed. So you're just going to have to work with me on this. Okay, so we got the headline in there. Let's zoom in 100%, see how we're vibing. We got a little artifact here. Let's when you take shortcuts like this, you have to start doing weird things to cover up these artifacts. So let's go white. Perfect. Okay, now we can move. I don't want to get it too high because, again, I want to give some breathing room, some space. And let's kick this up. So our primary messaging. So let's have it be big and bold. Let's go like that. I love how that kind of sits there. And we're going to add another button. We're going to do something else. So ideally, we grab a photo of theirs. Maybe, I think because it's going to be a little too difficult, we're just going to find an image off the web that we can take. So for now, I'm just going to go to Unsplash. Let's do car repair. Okay, shout out to Laurel and Michael Evans. Is that what I just saw there? Yes. At Laurel Mike on Unsplash. I'm going to go ahead and download free. And let's throw this in here. Great photo for this. Now you might be thinking, okay, well, it's kind of fuzzy, pixelated. Well, I scaled it up a little bit, there's that, but also it don't matter, because what we really care about is what you're saying. You know, who are we? What are we about? Is this a place for me? That sort of thing. So let's take this to black. Let's go solid. Okay. I don't think I saved that. Let's go there. Solid. Black. Okay. Let's take everything there. Send it back. Perfect. Now I'm just going to try a few things. Let's maybe go with screen. Alright, let's just go with Old Faithful here. So you still have that sort of dark appeal, but we just hone in here and make a couple adjustments to try and bring some cohesion to the design. So right now you can see that we're really using the white, red, and black, and maybe have some blue headlines for like H2s, that sort of thing. But this says it all right here. Now let's just find a different font so that I can play with some styling, because let me show you the power of this. Ooh. Well, there we go. That's probably a better one to use overall. But that's okay. So let's go 100% zoom so we can see how big this really is. Okay. Again, we're not doing any fine tuning or nothing, but let's move that there, and let's put, you know, a couple things here that would represent maybe some primary actions, and we'll make this a symbol so that we can easily modify it. Now let's grab this content, copy, paste. So I think one thing that you're going to want to know is, you know, what services do you provide? So let's do browse services. And if, you know, along the way you're seeing typos here, I apologize, it happens. Let's take that, and then we'll make a second button and say schedule appointment. And so I've only done all this just within the, gosh, looks like 17 minutes I've been talking to you guys. So, you know, not a whole lot of time is spent, and I think you can see where this is going. Now, I like that combination there, and if I were going further, I would probably use white up here, maybe change the navigation color, and just kind of keep tweaking things until I, you know, until I'm at a spot where I feel that they're balanced. I'm not too sure where I would use the blue. It might be nice to do like a blue combo there, and then like a slate color like that to kind of break it up. Or, you know, for now, just because I'm a real stickler about color cohesion, we go with that. So, you know, we can argue which one is better, but here's your current one, and here's your new one, and, you know, you do a lot more styling and whatnot to kind of polish things, maybe get some icons in there and all that good stuff, but this kind of gives you the idea of what you're going for. Now, when you look at this, right, let's blow this up. Let's get this real big. And, okay, so there's your current one, right? Okay, so just take a few seconds, look at that. What do you see? Okay, you see Rick's, and, okay, so you see Rick's and schedule appointment, right? But it's weird how Rick's and the financing available actually draw your eyes the most, and it's probably the primary color differences there that kind of shock your brain, and you are attracted to those two elements. That's for me. It could be different for you, based on how your eyes perceive color and all that stuff. Okay, so this is what we got. Let's go to the next one. Way cleaner, right? Oh, looks like we got a little mistake here, so let's fix that. Let's move this over just a little bit, like that. See, even in the demo, there's issues, and sometimes you just got to change it. So, okay, so there's before, there's after. Long way to go, but this sends a very clear signal about what you want the user to do. Things are consistent, and you guide them. You know, you move them around the site how you want them to move. Let's just take a few things off here, like a border, which XD loves to add onto everything. Okay, so yeah, there you have it. If we go back to our site now, I think some other things you would do is, you know, better design some of these content elements, right? You would kind of move them around, and stagger them and add some images and things. You might even have these three boxes be at the top of the page, right? Take a tour, schedule an appointment, and I could see those going in right below this stuff or right above. And it might look something like this. You know, if we're trying to stay within those margins there, let's just go with my black or light gray color here. Take the border off. Okay. So you might do those three boxes, put them in the center, and then they might go right here, right? And that really helps funnel people through the site. So you might do that there and then move the content down. So anyway, I hope this was helpful and gives you some insight into how we look at website design, but also how we improve conversion is through simple things like creating content, the messaging and the design that really takes users through the funnel and takes them to where you want them to go. Once again, my name is Jason Wright from Web4, and you've been watching Crow. Thanks.